happening. Hope that you are well. And if you're not well, I hope that you're able to bring some presence to whatever's going on with you in your life right now. I hope you're able to kind of be with it. And let's talk about making a new beginning in your health and wellness. If you have been experiencing some kind of symptoms, maybe some chronic ongoing symptoms, indigestion, mental fog, chronic pain, fatigue, tinnitus or tinnitus, to name a few, then it may be time to start all over and make a new beginning in your health and wellness and in your habits and the way that you live your life. I love that Tracy Chapman song, "New Beginning," and it's about how we really need to redefine the whole way that we live our lives in this world. And certainly a big aspect of that, in my view, is our health and well-being, our healthy lifestyles, or our changing our not healthy lifestyles. And in terms of diet, yeah, but also in terms of exercise, yeah, but also in terms of psychology and spirituality and relationships. In some ways it's all about relationships. And speaking about relationships, I'm about to take care of these goats for the morning. So excuse me while I get things situated a bit here. But and you may need to do some things that you're not used to. If you've been dealing with, let's say, mental fog or tinnitus or chronic indigestion, some of the things I mentioned. You may be used to eating sugar, every day. You may be used to having a birthday cake at somebody's party uh, several times a year or something like that, and you may need to cut sugar to change your health and wellness. The good news is that doesn't have to be like horrible. There's a whole cookbook full of treats that you can have on this. For example, this really healthy version of keto dieting that I've been doing, and you may need to redirect some of your finances towards uh, alternative practitioners, a naturopath, a chiropractor, a health coach, somebody like that. And that may be challenging. You may have to change your beliefs about money, um, and the way you think about earning money, especially while you're not well. It's like, how are you going to earn money while you're not well? And if you don't believe it's possible, then you're right. But you know what? It is possible. I've done it at times when I wanted to afford some particular thing for my wellness. I've learned how to upgrade my income so I can do that. And so what I'm doing right now is getting these goats out of their pen, so that they can graze or browse, as it's called, in this back acre of my homestead here. And this back acre will have a fence around it, which you'll see eventually. And for now, I have to keep them in this smaller pen and then uh, bring them out, let them graze. So that's what I'm doing. And that's one of the ways in which I've changed my life is I've started to take care of these goats. And it's worked out in a way already. They've more than paid for themselves in yard work, keeping the yard nice and pruned. And in addition to that, I will have grass-fed goat milk eventually. Not breeding them yet because I want to have the back acre ready, as I mentioned. But so that's one change, that I made is from mostly cow dairy to mostly goat dairy. Now, oh look, I found this little hook on the ground by bungee cords. I had been looking for that, but yeah, goats produce the A2 protein, A2, where most of the commercial cows are A1 and A2, and the A1 is harder for most people to digest. And so I do eat A2 dairy from cows and goats, but I don't have any cows, so this is what I'm doing. But so yeah, dietary changes, less sugar, or no sugar, or getting your sugar from just a little bit of fruit or certain fruits. Um, there's a lot you can do with that. Monk fruit extract or monk fruit powder is a wonderful sweetener that's friendly to the keto diet, and it's just like brown sugar to me. I mean, so you can make these adjustments, and again, there's cost. There's a premium on eating food that doesn't have garbage in it. That costs more, and so I know that's hard for some people, but for some people that's totally possible. And if cost isn't what's holding you back, then good. Scratch that off the list. And what else is keeping you from making the changes to your life that would really impact your overall health and wellness. And what do you need to do? I would think about maybe asking yourself and uh, using a journal, do some free writing, maybe do some left-handed writing, maybe do some meditating before it, and ask yourself, what do I need to do in my life in order to get well? Uh, there was some research that was done years ago about the placebo effect and spontaneous remission from supposedly incurable things by a doctor called Lisa Rankin. She compiled a bunch of research that was already existing in databases and discovered how people's lifestyle. She called it the uh, whole health Karens. It's sort of like this pile of rocks, and at the top of that pile of rocks is your health, and there's all these other things, your environment, your relationships, all these things that and your beliefs that impact your health. And she would ask people this question when they did an intake with her and they became a new patient. She would ask them what they need to do to improve their health, and some people would say like something like they need to get a divorce or they need to move to New Mexico, and then the ones who did that would get better. And that I'm sure that wasn't the only thing that they changed in their life, but maybe making that one change catalyzed a lot of other things in their life, that they did. Maybe it helped them to change their diet. It helped to change the air that they were breathing. Um, obviously, it may have changed their relationships if they got a divorce. You know, maybe you need to start a meditation practice. Maybe you need to do yoga every day. Maybe you need to start running. Maybe you need to get Dr. Stephen Teagarden's book, Healthy Past 100, and follow the protocol that's in there. Maybe you need to go to a functional medicine doctor and get some food sensitivity testing and follow that program. Maybe you need to learn how to forgive yourself for mistakes that you make along the way. Maybe you need to forgive somebody else for something. Maybe you need to forgive your parents for something. Maybe you need to learn to accept everything that's come up till now and connect with your presence, your soulful quality of presence instead of always thinking about the past mistakes or the people that you can't forgive. You know, so there are a lot of things that can change psychologically and spiritually and uh, in terms of diet and exercise. Maybe you need to come to Hawaii and spend some time with goats, or go surfing. Maybe you need to go to Costa Rica and go on a retreat. Maybe you need to stay right where you are and just do what you can, everything you can for yourself, and commit to doing that instead of sitting around in your self-pity and going to work, and then sitting around in your self-pity and going to work, and then sitting around in your self-pity, or just sitting around and not even going to work, whatever it is. Maybe you need to stop relying on what other people can do for you and rely on yourself and develop your inner life. And so there's a lot of ways that we could start all over and make a new beginning in terms of the way that we live our own life, physically, psychologically, spiritually. And it's not just the world that needs to change, it's you, it's me. And so I hope this is helpful to you in some way. Give me just a second. I'm going to finish opening this makeshift gate that I made here. It's really hard to dig down in Hawaii, and I haven't made a real gate. I'm not even good at building things. My partner Devin, my wife, she made most of this fence. My son did did some of it, and got a lot of good helpers. Um, I'm more kind of the breadwinner, which took me a long time to get to that point where I'm kind of a breadwinner in the family. The guy that makes the money, right? All right, excuse me one second. I got to open this bottom hitch here. Okay. Goats are getting ready to come out. You can see they're kind of playing with each other. Oop. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to get their leashes to bring them out on. All right. So I can tell they're kind of getting excited about coming out, I think. They came over, walked back away. So yeah, I'll get them out and then I'll bring them over, and hopefully it won't rain before they get to do some grazing. Hey kiddos, hey kiddos. Woo! Oh my goodness. Look at you go. Okay. There we go. Merci. Merci, merci. Merci. All right. Gotcha. All right, I got them on their leashes. I saw that structure that protects them from the rain needs a little adjustment, but come on. Oops, he's gonna go right under the tripod. My dogs broke a tripod the other day. Let's go. Oop, there she goes again. Come on, kiddos. Just got him on this little short leash right now, but then have other places with longer tie offs throughout this, what I call the back acre. I think it probably is about a back acre. We just have this little 30 acres here. Front part is where we're going to have campsites. Middle part is where the house is, and then the back part is this back acre. So I think each of those are about an acre. And Pan has already started eating, so I'll stop and let her eat. And just kind of hang out here for a minute. But so yeah, big changes, and sometimes relationships are the big change. And in my therapy practice, I work with a lot of couples, and I've been married for over 20 years. Uh, and well, actually, I've been with my wife for over 20 years, been married for just about 20 years. But I had to make changes. I've had to make changes. And it's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing thing. I did a workshop this weekend on EMDR. It's a method that helps people to process trauma. And so I'm learning as a therapist to facilitate that method. And in the process of learning that, I participated in. And it was difficult. It was challenging. It brought up some difficult stuff. And, Devin's also a somatic therapist. And we are super busy on this farm, getting things going here. And having a teenager and a 20-year-old that we want to be here for. And um, so in the midst of all that, it's like we have to hold space for all the different processes the emotional and psychological and spiritual processes that we go through. And when you're together, you see that in another person. And when you have kids, you see the result of how you were 15, 17, 20 years ago and how that impacted them. We've been through a lot of changes. And so maybe sometimes what's needed is a rite of passage to sort of to mark the changes that have happened. Spend 3 or 4 nights in the wilderness and pray about the changes you want to have in your life. And I've done that several times in my life, and it may be time to do that again. It may be time to do that again. So we've all got changes that we've got to make if we want to, optimize our health and our well-being. And there's so many ways that you can do that. I think part of the message here is that if you think you've tried everything, that's not true. It's not true. And I'm not saying that because I don't sympathize that you've been trying and trying and trying and maybe things haven't worked. But it's never everything. There's more to discover and more to learn. More joy to bring into your life, more compassion for yourself. Maybe I can learn some of those things from you. I'd love to hear your comments below, or if you want to comment to me privately, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me at oneloveheals.com, ONELOVEHEALS.com. And my name is Tom Kirkham. And I'm a mental health counselor here on Big Island, Hawaii. And this goat here is Pandina, or Pandini is the name, and I call her Pan. And that one is Mouse. And Mouse is Pan's kid, but she's growing up, and they're pulling on me here. I want to move them over to where there's more interesting and fun stuff for them to graze on. Pan's gonna come with me. Mouse, she likes to pull back a little. Doesn't like to be led on the leash. I'm just really looking forward to when we can get this fence built and just let them freely graze back here. It's going to be so good for all of us. And you'll get to see that. And one day you'll get to see baby goats too. So that's all really fun and exciting and therapeutic. Spending time with these goats has been and is very therapeutic for me. This is a loquat tree here. They've eaten just about all the low-hanging loquats, the low-hanging fruits that are on here. And but now they're eating the leaves that are low-hanging. And they've not only eaten the low-hanging ones, they've eaten most of the ones that I've been able to go up high and get. Although it's growing more all the time. When you prune something here in Hawaii, it all grows back. It all grows back. So I'm tempted to go up there and get some loquats to give them. And so I may do that here in a moment. I may do that off camera. What I may do is let them eat a little bit more and then tie them off, and then go do it on camera. Um, it is getting to be kind of a long video, I'm sure. But hey, I mean, isn't this fun hanging out with goats in Hawaii? It is a cloudy day, but it's not raining on us, which is nice. Gives them a chance to eat. I think maybe what I'll do is go get a tie off for them. I'm gonna let that be. Just trust that they'll eat for a second. Don't try this at home. I'm gonna go get a line to tie them onto and see if they'll eat for a second while I tie them on there. What'll likely happen is they'll come over to me when they see me shaking the tree, and hopefully they won't knock over the tripod. Okay, give me 1 second. Kids, don't try this at home. Yeah, they took off. I got them right when they were taking off. So let's see if I can do this. I've been wanting to do this on camera for a while. I just thought it would be fun. Okay. See, they like to, it's like if I'm around, they'll stay in kind of one spot. They like to eat when I'm around. If I wander off, they kind of wander off too and get bored. But he's really reaching up there and grabbing that food. I don't know if you can see her. I think you can. And way up there is where I see some fruit that I want to grab and feed them. So I'm gonna see if I can do that real quick. Oh yeah, there's a couple here that I can reach. Here's one I can reach. Little bunch of not quite ripe fruit, and there's one that's getting ripe. It's going to be a little bit harder to reach. Ah, but let me see if I can get to it. Here, I got this one. I got this one. And I'll let that one keep growing. All right, I got some, and I'm coming back down. Oh boy, fruit. Oh, you dropped one, Pan. I'll get it. There you go. That was a ripe one. I like giving them these low carb fruits because it gives them a little bit of sugar, which puts fat on them. That's all the fruits off of there. That kind of was an appetizer. Now they're eating the leaves. Okay, now they're done. We got all the fruit. So that was a big adventure climbing up that tree. So it's running out of fruits and it's starting to rain. So I'm going to sign off and I hope to see you on the next video. Aloha.